Hello, my name is Baymax. I'm trying to read your emotion. I cannot tell if you are anxious for Tom Richardson's movie review, if you're curious to see why I'm here, or you're wondering who I am. Well, to answer your question further, Tom Richardson will review this movie since your anxious levels seem pretty high and you seem to want to know what his review of Big Hero 6 is. And you're probably wondering who Baymax is and why Tom Richardson's glasses are off. So, hey everybody, that was my attempted Baymax impression. Baymax is a character in Big Hero 6 who kind of makes the movie for the most part, to be honest. Um, Big Hero 6, you guys, it's based off of a Marvel comic. You know, Disney owns the rights to Marvel. They've owned the rights to Marvel for a while now. And this is kind of their first animated feature that is based off a Marvel comic, really. I mean, all the other Marvel stuff, they just kind of funded the projects and, really didn't put their name on it. Big Hero 6 is kind of the first Marvel movie that Disney is very much involved with. So in Big Hero 6, you guys, this is a film about a character named Hiro. It looks like Hero, but I guess it's pronounced Hiro. And he's really intelligent. He graduated high school early. He's still in his teenage years, and when I say teenage years, he's only about 14 or 15 years old. Um, so he's very smart. He's very technologically advanced with things. His brother is very smart too. His brother goes to a very good university in a fictional city called San Francisco, or however you pronounce it. It's basically San Francisco mixed with Tokyo, and so it's like San Francisco or something like that. Um, and so his brother goes to this really advanced university that it's very much for the smarter students who are very good with science and math and things like that. And so basically, Hiro really wants to get into this university because his brother really enjoys it. When his brother let him visit the university and meet his colleagues and his friends, Hiro was very interested in wanting to learn more about science and math through this university. And so basically there is a competition coming up that allows Hiro to show off his abilities, and he makes something called microbots, which allows basically these small little black toothpick looking things, and they can form almost any object or any type of shape imaginable. And so this can be used for a lot of things that a lot of these laboratories and scientific organizations that the university is involved with could use, and use for their experimentations and things like that. And so basically, Hiro is offered all over the map after this competition for showing off the microbots. That everybody wants money for it. People want Hiro to work for him right there and then. But he really wants to be a student at this university first. But basically, to kind of sum it all up, the microbots do get into the wrong hands. I won't spoil who gets it and things like that, but it gets into the wrong hands, and basically Hiro has to now form a group of superheroes since these microbots really can't be stopped on their own because they are such a powerful form of technology. And he ends up forming a group of heroes with some of his brother's college colleagues, and they form this big group called Big Hero 6, which the movie really doesn't even call their team that until towards the end of the movie. So it's basically them getting this microbots back before it gets into the wrong hands. So I really enjoyed Big Hero 6, you guys. It's a very good film. It's not going to be the most original film you'll ever see. I'll say that right away. A lot of things in this film we've seen in other films, whether animated or live action in the Marvel Universe. There's a lot of things in this film that other films before it have used a lot already. Um, but it's really enjoyable. It's a very good looking movie. I love the setting of this movie. I liked that cross between San Francisco and Tokyo, and I still can't pronounce that name, the San Francisco or whatever they call it. I'm sure everybody who's watching this video now is laughing about that. But I loved the setting that they used for the movie. Like I said, I loved like the Tokyo things, and I loved how it looked like San Francisco at the same time. And there was a lot of Japanese culture that was incorporated into the city and things like that. And it looks like something you would see in downtown Tokyo as these characters are walking through the city and things like that. And it's also very technologically advanced, like a lot of portions of Japan is. Um, so for my positives and negatives of Big Hero 6, which I kind of already got into detail on, um, my big number one positive about Big Hero 6 though is the character of Baymax. Baymax is a giant inflatable balloon like character who, he's basically a robot, but he looks like a big inflatable balloon. Imagine the Michelin Man. He kind of looks like that. Um, Imagine the Michelin Man mixed with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. He looks a lot like that. And so basically, Baymax, Hiro's brother invented him, and he's meant to be like a robotic nurse. He's meant to take care of anything that, you need help with, whether it's your health, whether it's, like if you're going through depression, he can help you through it. If you need, help around the house or help, figuring something out, Baymax is there to basically do all those things for you. He's programmed to do that. And so this film really plays off that really well. And kind of like what I was showing in my opening video, he can read emotions well, he can scan things. Um, like he can figure out situations for people, and just a really neat character. Definitely the big sell point for the movie. For me, it was, and I think for a lot of people who go see this film, the Baymax character is really going to sell this movie for them. Really cool character. Huge thumbs up to both Disney and Marvel for making such a really neat character. I won't get into too much detail on this because I already talked about this, but the San Francisco setting I thought was really cool. And I thought another big positive I have for Big Hero 6 is there's a lot of fun back and forth dialogue between characters, specifically with the character Fred. He's this guy who's like dressed up in a dinosaur outfit throughout the movie. Just a lot of fun back and forth between like Hiro and his brother, and Hiro and the professors of this college, and just a lot of fun dialogue. You can definitely tell they had a lot of fun writing the script of the movie. And then that goes to my next compliment is, the Fred character. I liked that dinosaur suit thing that he was wearing. His superpower I thought was kind of the coolest out of the whole group, to be honest. And just the costume I thought was really cool. It definitely was in the spirit of like, ancient Japan myths and monsters. And I just liked the overall outfit that he had. I thought it was really cool. Then my next positive is Maya Rudolph's voice acting performance in the movie. She really sells the movie when it came to the comedy portion of the film. I know Maya Rudolph is very good with comedy. I've seen her in a lot of other comedic stuff, but she really nails it here in this movie. She's the aunt of Hiro in the movie. They don't get into too much detail, but I guess Hiro's parents aren't around anymore, and so she's taking care of both Hiro and the brother. Um, but she really sells it in this movie. She really is really funny. Every line of dialogue that came out of her mouth, I was laughing at. She really nailed. Whoever was directing her in the voice acting room for recording her voice really coached her really well because she really nailed every line of this movie. She was really funny every time she spoke. For my negatives of Big Hero 6, my first and foremost complaint was there's some major plot conveniences with this film. Characters get into things that are supposed to be locked away, things that need passwords, and all this other stuff, and they break into it as if there's no locks whatsoever to these facilities, and the villains of the film get away with things really easily. The heroes of the film really don't run into conflict because they can get through it so easily. So just it has so many plot conveniences, and that's one huge negative I had about Big Hero 6. My next big negative is I thought the overall story was extremely predictable, as well as the villain and the villain twist. Because they try to attempt to do this villain twist in the movie. For those who saw Frozen, you'll kind of know what I mean. They try to do like the villain at the last minute, like, oh, it's going to be this person. Oh, but wait, it's actually this person. I guessed it the whole time. The second I saw this character, like I said, I won't say who it is. But the second I saw who later became the villainous character, I'm like, yeah, that guy is going to be the villain. Um, it felt very much like a Scooby Doo episode. For those who've seen Scooby Doo, you always know that the people who are always extremely nice to someone always end up being like the really like undercover villain and things like that. But very predictable story, very predictable villains. So huge thumbs down on that. I guess the whole movie the entire time I knew exactly where it was going, no surprises whatsoever. So that was kind of another downgrade of Big Hero 6. Another negative I had about the film was a lot of the heroes on the Big Hero 6 team are pretty disposable. Besides Baymax, Hiro, and Fred, those are really the only three characters of the team that I really enjoyed. All the other characters were just kind of disposable. I think one of them was Honey Lemon and Go Go, and one other Wasabi, I think his name was. Really disposable, really boring superpowers. I think one of them just had like laser swords come out of his arms or something like that. Really boring superpowers. I just really disposable characters. I think this film could have just been Big Hero 3, to be honest. I know that would have been, messing around with the source material, but really Fred, Hiro, and Baymax are really the only three characters on the superhero team I really cared about. Everybody else was just kind of disposable. So thumbs down there. And then my last negative is I thought the overall superhero origin story setup of the movie was extremely generic. It was the basically the same setup as Spider-Man, same setup as Batman, same setup as Superman. It's just like every superhero movie has the same origin story already. And it's just like we need a different one. You don't need to use the same superhero origin setup every single superhero movie. It's just like you guys need to think. You need to think about what's original. You need to think about, what hasn't been done yet. There is things that haven't been done yet that have not been made into a film yet. And apparently Big Hero 6 doesn't know that. So huge thumbs down there. But despite my negatives, it was a very nice looking film. It is a good film and an entertaining film. And like I said, the Baymax character, especially for me, really sold the movie for the most part. And I would almost like, if they do make a sequel to Big Hero 6, I will say this: make it about Baymax. Make him the main focus somehow. They can make a whole movie about Baymax, and I'd be cool with it. Big Hero 6, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. That might seem a little generous despite my negatives I mentioned early, but there is a lot of really cool things going for this film. And like I said, if Disney wants to make another Big Hero 6 movie, make it about Baymax. I'm serious. Make it about Baymax. You can make a whole movie about him. So, thumbs up for the most part. Like I said, go into the movie knowing that it's not perfect, though. So, 8.5 out of 10 for me. Pretty cool film. If you like Marvel Comics, if you like Disney films, specifically Disney animated films, you should have a fun time. But like I said, go into it knowing that it's not going to be perfect.